Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek. You're watching Kevin the Geek. Welcome back to Series 4, Episode 5 of Not Going Out. I'm really hoping this isn't a bonfire night episode, otherwise I could have saved this for later in the year, but hey, let's check it out anyway.
So, what are you doing for bonfire night?
Nothing.
Oh, come on! I knew it. I just knew it from the title. I mean, I looked it up beforehand. It didn't even air close to bonfire night. It was like February. But then again, I think, wasn't it in the first series, there was an episode that started with Halloween. I don't even think it was near Halloween. So, yeah, this show plays very fast and loose with its air dates and the themes of the episodes.
Poetry. Maybe you should stick to the limericks.
There was an old woman from China who had an enormous...
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this the world's slowest burglary?
What you doing here?
I live here.
I don't like porridge, you know.
She got dementia.
Sorry, you are...
I slept with him last night.
Whoa!
She's confused.
I know how she feels.
She keeps wondering why I'm in her flat.
I know how she feels.
The wheel's still spinning, but the hamster's dead.
Oh, beautifully put.
Wow.
We all get a little confused now and again, sweetheart.
Don't patronise me or I'll punch you in the face.
Whoa!
I'm not mental, but I got this.
Sorry, I can't handle this. You're going to have to go, I'm afraid.
Is Brian outside?
Yeah, he's in a cab. I don't know what was best, the sex or the Three Werther's original.
I don't know whether I should applaud that. I mean, from a comedy standpoint, is fun, but my nan suffered with dementia, so I'll talk a bit more at the end, particularly if she comes back into the episode.
Go and get her back, now.
Why can't you go?
I'm wearing a towel. Grab the newspaper and I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Thanks.
Nice!
Hello, old woman.
Who are you?
Do you want to come back to my flat?
Made me think your words again, Lee.
I get a little lost, and the person that takes me home gets a reward.
Good morning, officer. I'd like to report an incident.
Whoa! Look
You
at that.
can't win me over with the promise of a few sparklers and Catherine wheels. I'm not a child.
There'll be rockets too.
Can I light them?
Good luck with the fireworks. I hope you get your end away.
There's no reward, I'm afraid. There's no rich son either. He lives abroad. Hardly ever sees her. She hasn't really got anyone, to be honest.
Is that an actual song? So the theme tune for Goodnight Sweetheart, is that an actual song? I just thought they made it up for the show. Wowza, if that is the case.
Sorry, it's been such a letdown.
Well, Betty doesn't seem to think so.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
We are not going out.
Nice. So that episode, when did that air? Let me just go back. Fireworks. Yeah, aired on the 3rd of February of 2011. So, not even close. Not even close to Bonfire Night. You know, it's a whole year afterwards, technically. So, the old lady was Vilma Hollingberry. Well, that's her professional acting name. Her real name was Vilma Jean Napier Brown. Known various television programs and films over a span of 60 years, was known for appearances as Claudia Wren in Psychoville. Oh, I've actually recorded an episode of Psychoville. Would this have come out by then? Hang on, where are we? This is... I'm trying to think. This is episode... Right, yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, That episode of Psychoville would have come out about 2 weeks ago. That was a guaranteed request video. I don't remember. I mean, the character's Claudia Wren. It doesn't ring a bell, so that may be an upcoming one, basically. So Velma, she passed away 2021, age 89. She had a daughter who also became an actress, and her husband died in 2016, Michael Napier Brown, who was an actor and director. I'm trying to see. She's in an episode of Inside Number 9, which I don't think I've got to yet. She was in Doctor Who in the revival era in the Doctor Dances episode. I'm trying to think. Mrs. Harcourt. The only one I can vaguely think of is she might have been one of the patients after they sort of like got rehumanized. Maybe the woman who like lost a leg or something like that, possibly.
My leg's grown back. When I come to the hospital, I had one leg.
Well, there is a war on. Is it possible you miscounted?
So yeah, has done loads and loads of different bits and bobs with that. So I mean, obviously, rest in peace to Velma there. But that was a really good episode. I really, really liked that episode. I think it's interesting how they handle dementia, which is what I presume she probably has. It's probably dementia or Alzheimer's or some form of degenerative brain condition. But if it's memory related, more than likely Alzheimer's or dementia. And like I said, my nan, she suffered. I mean, she passed away 2022, and she was diagnosed. So it was 2014. Because 2013, end of 2013, I remember that she was down for my mum's 50th birthday, sorry, and I remember looking at her and thinking she seems a bit more off than usual, and I didn't think much of it because she said she'd been ill recently, so I thought, well, maybe it's just something like that. And then about a month later, her partner John of many years, he passed away, and he passed away a couple of days before Christmas. We ended up doing his funeral. I think it was like the 27th or 28th of December. And she lived up north. We brought her down for the Christmas period, and so she was stopping in a hotel, and I think it was it was the morning of the funeral. She just got up like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was already arranged that my mum was going to drive to the hotel, pick her up, they'd take her up, they'd do the funeral and everything, so she got up like 4 o'clock in the morning, had clearly forgotten that she was getting picked up by my mum, ordered a taxi from the woman at reception, got on a train, and so then we had to try and track her down and everything, which we eventually did through great help with the people in the train station. We eventually learned that she had dementia, so we got her moved down here. She got put into a home, and it was really difficult to see her slowly deteriorate more. And I think she'd had it for a while before John had passed away, but I think he had sort of hidden a lot of it and kind of excused it as a bit of just, she's just getting on a bit older. You just get a bit forgetful as you're older. So when, of course, he wasn't around, it became much more noticeable. And it culminated at one point when the kind of the home that she was living in was sort of it wasn't like a proper home where it's like all secured and everything. It was basically like a flat within a block of flats. You had a canteen and a restaurant downstairs, so every day all the residents got together. They had a 3-course lunch, so we always know that she had at least one good meal every day, and they'd do little bits of entertainment and stuff, but it was still very much kind of self-supporting living, but they had people within the building to help out as and when necessary. But she wasn't like properly always being watched. And so there was, again, just one night that she just walked out of there, middle of the night, it was like midnight or something, managed to walk all the way up and it's quite a long road, all the way up into the town. And with her being elderly and slower, I mean, it would have taken me probably about a 15-minute walk. It easily could have taken her 45 minutes to an hour to walk up this road. Just walked up the road, and we luckily there was this taxi driver who just sort of walking down. He spotted her, and it turned out that his mother had recently passed away, who'd had dementia. So he sort of recognised some signs. He took her to a McDonald's, got the police out, and luckily one of the police officers who turned out worked with my sister, and she had seen my nan before, so we got hold of my sister. So it was resolved very, very quickly. But it's interesting to think how different some situations like that could have been, because some people, they're not well equipped to handle things like dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, I even think, even just me going around and sitting with my nan on, in the early days, it was hard. You have to learn a different way in speaking to them. Like, I remember things like, it could be something as simple as like, I'd go around, I'd say, "Oh, Nan, what did you have for breakfast today?" Or rather, like my mum might say that to her, and I've been with her, and like, what did you have for lunch? You went out to a restaurant, what did you have for lunch? And she might say, "Oh, I had scampi and chips." And I might correct her and say, "Oh, Nan, don't you remember? No, you got the lasagna because you wanted the garlic bread, didn't you?" And then she'd be very adamant. She'd be like, "No, I didn't. I had the scampi, chips and mushy peas and blah, blah." So I kind of had to learn very quickly that it wasn't so much that it was easier to agree with her. It was easier for me, of course, because you don't have that disagreement moment. But it was easier for my nan, because if you tried to correct her, probably in her head, she probably felt like she was being a bit stupid, or she was, something like that. And yeah, so it's hard. It's really hard with people with dementia. And I'm not surprised that they depicted Lee being, especially in the early points of this episode, the way that he was, and that he was sort of a bit, not dismissive in a way, but didn't quite have as much empathy as some people may have had. Because I think unless you've kind of dealt with it, you don't know the full ins and outs. You don't see triggers. You don't, you have to spend a lot of time working your way around. I mean, like I said, I think with my nan, it was probably a good 3-4 years before I really got into a routine where I was like, I know what to say, I know when to say things, I know what to do in certain situations. It took a while, and it was just the worst part of it is seeing these people deteriorate in front of your eyes. And I have the utmost respect for people who work in these kind of care homes, because when you're literally with them day after day after day, I remember, one of the nurses at my nan's home, when my nan eventually passed, like she said, she became almost like her nan in a way. That she was just seeing her every day, and my nan would tell stories and stuff. So yeah, very good episode. Really, really good episode. I like that one a lot. I think it's easy that could be a very forgotten episode, though, at the same time. But I liked it. I think it really touched me kind of here. So thank you for watching. Especially thank you if you've stuck with me through my ramble and my personal stories there. But yeah, as always, if you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications, consider supporting me on Patreon. But that was great. And next week, I think it's next week anyway, we'll have the series 4 finale. It is literally next week. So it'll be the series finale. There's no Christmas special after this series, so it will literally be the next episode, which will again be straight away the week after. That will be Series 5, Episode 1. Which I know is called Banned, because when I've uploaded these to YouTube, a lot of the claims when it come in, especially when it allowed them originally, they would put the wrong episode on, put Series 5, Episode 1, Banned. Yeah, the show's never going on to YouTube again. I just know it's not happening. So all of these, I'm pretty certain off my memory, it will be Google Drive, I think, moving forwards. But hey, it's a great show. I'm glad to share it with you. So thank you very much, as always. For now, my name's Kevin. I'm a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.